Hello, this tutorial is on developing and presenting a design plan. Throughout Module 3, you are going to be creating one big project, and it's going to be an interior design presentation board based on a specific scenario that will be provided to you. So before you get started on that, you need to listen to some important guidelines for developing and presenting your design plan. So first off, good design requires planning. Planning. Just like anything for any class, you have to organize your thoughts before you get started. If you don't organize your thoughts, it's going to be just a crazy process. So you don't just start buying furniture for a room. You have to start designing the room before you actually buy all the accessories and whatnot to put in it. So there's a good starting point, and then there's an ending point. And if you don't follow that logical sequence and order, your design can just go down the trash can. So you have to start somewhere. So where are you going to start? So first off, you're going to start by identifying the project. Then you're going to assess client characteristics after you meet with them. You analyze the environment, develop a budget, compile a design resource file, usually like a blog or Pinterest, plan use of space, choose a style and color scheme, select backgrounds, furniture, lighting, accessories, that's all the fun stuff, present the design, and then implement the design. So I'm going to talk about this more in detail. So your first step in this plan is identifying your project. So in the activity you're going to be doing throughout Module 3 here is you are going to be provided a scenario, all right? You already have a client. So once you read the scenario, you're going to ask yourself, what is the change that needs to be made? What do I have to do? Number 2, how much are you willing to spend? A budget's going to be provided for you. Before you start any design, it's really important that you have a budget in mind. It just gives you guidance. Most people don't have an unlimited budget. If they do, then, you know, you can buy whatever you want, but most people have a budget. So in your stimulation, which is your activity project for Module 3, you will have a budget. How much time do you have to complete it? So realistically, you want most projects, depending on how large they are, to be done within a couple of weeks. And then what's the overall goal of the project? You'll be able to identify the goal after you read the initial scenario. So step number 2, assess the client characteristics. So what you're going to do is you meet with the client and you get a feeling of who they are and what their desires are. So you match possibilities for room design with the habits, the likes, needs, and wants of the people who will use it. So you have to ask them questions. What are you using this space for? What colors do you like? Just those types of questions is what you ask the client to determine how they want their room to feel. Sometimes interior designers will complete a family inventory just to see the lifestyle of the family, what activities they do, hobbies, what type of atmosphere they like, what are their future considerations, are they planning on moving, are they changing the room to something else in the future, etc. Step number 3, you're going to analyze the environment. So the environment inventory is if you're doing a whole house, all right? So you kind of just analyze the number of rooms, how many activity zones, is there storage, what furniture and accessories are already present in the room and are going to be in the redesign, where's the electrical and lighting, is there safety, what's the traffic flow, and then you're going to consider the furniture needs. What do they need in the room that they're designing? You're going to establish priorities. What are the budget restrictions? Is usually the priorities that are going to you're going to come up with while you're analyzing the environment. And then measure space, the furniture, and then obviously you'll be creating scale drawings. So it's the best way to evaluate the floor plan, which you'll be doing in your project. Step 4 is develop a preliminary budget. So you're going to be provided a budget in your project. You're going to write down everything that needs to be purchased. Okay. Now in the scenario that I'm going to give you, you will have some furniture that the person already has, but you're obviously going to have to purchase more. You're going to create price estimates based on the size of the room. You can use any website to purchase things that your heart desires. You can buy new, used, etc. Step 5, compile a design resource file. Take before photos of the area to be redesigned. Find sources of ideas in magazines, catalogs, websites, newspapers, how-to books. Pinterest is a great resource. And then you can organize by separating into categories. And then you can always go back to this as you design more and more rooms. And you can have lots of examples: furnishings, window treatments, floor coverings, wallpaper, paint samples, fabric samples, etc. Step 6 is plan use of space. So a functional room arrangement is one in which the space meets the needs of its occupants. So, and this is going to change depending on each client, each scenario, etc. So arranging space, review the purpose that the room is supposed to serve. And again, that will be provided in the scenario that you will be given. Consider the features of the room itself. On your plan, outline the path people would use to walk through the room. So you're going to develop your traffic patterns. It's really important to develop those traffic patterns, and then you will kind of place the furniture. A thoughtful arranged room is functional and pleasing to look at. It should be symmetrical or asymmetrical, depending. So obviously reference your elements and principles of design when you are putting this together. Make sure you're keeping these factors in mind when designing. Don't overcrowd a room. Try to, obviously, as I just said, balance the room, following the elements and principles of design you learned about. Create a focal point. Use your imagination. Be innovative. Be creative. Room by room. Living rooms and family rooms, make sure there's seating. Provide convenient service for reading materials and refreshments. Make sure you have an entertainment area. Dining area. Allow room for chairs to move and people to move around, etc., so they're not clunking into each other. Draw floor plans, and you will be doing this in Module 3's project. Floor plans give a view from above, elevation, so a side view. You will not be required to do elevations, just the actual floor plan. Some interior designers use CAD. You are not going to be required to use CAD, but it is something that if you were to major in interior design, you would be using the CAD program. And then step 7, choose a style and color scheme. Style refers to the overall characteristics of a design. It might be a reflection of a specific period of time, a region, a specific designer, things you might see on Pinterest. It might make you feel cozy. It could be formal, informal. Those are all things you want to create when you are, in the initial processes. Again, there's lots of different types of style, and you'll get a better sense of what kind of style you're trying to plan if you just look through your resource file, look through Pinterest, look through images, to kind of see what kind of design are you trying to create. So there are different types of style. There's a colonial style, which is very simplistic, clean. Queen Anne, which is very formal, often large, with high ceilings, very luxurious, golds, maroon, things like that. Victoria, flamboyant, an elaborate style, which is generally have carved wooden panels. Modern, simple, and unified technology with art, which is more trendy. The focus is on the horizontal lines, monochromatic color schemes. After that, step 8 is to select backgrounds, furniture, lighting, accessories. Backgrounds, floors, walls, and ceilings, and windows. So you're going to start with your backgrounds, meaning what color you're going to paint the wall, how you're going to have your ceiling, are you going to add texture, are you going to add shape, how are you going to have harmony, looking at your window treatments, your windows, decide what materials, colors, patterns you're going to use as part of the design process. The goal is to make sure that backgrounds harmonize with the style that you're trying to create. Once you've done all of this, you're going to present the design. You'll have your floor plans, You're going to mount them. You'll put them on a presentation board. Um, this should all look very clean, and on your sample board you'll have the coverings of the floors, fabrics, window treatments, pictures. Um, you're only going to be creating one room, so you're only going to be creating one board. You can computer generate your work and then paste it onto your presentation board after everything has been mounted. And here are some examples. More. Couple more. Some of them are missing their floor plans, but you get the idea. A professional presentation, once all designs are complete, the presentation must be made. Oral presentations consist of an introduction, discussion of the design, and then the summary, and also the final presentation of the budget. Instead of you doing a formal presentation to the class, what you're going to be asked to do is create a video of yourself presenting the plan for the scenario given. And you can create this video any way you want. Be creative, be innovative. You can have guests and other people acting in as the clients and you presenting to them. You can just have yourself talking, whatever you feel most comfortable with. The video that you create needs to be uploaded to YouTube, and then you will give it to your teacher for grading purposes. It will not be shown to anyone else but yourself. And then if you want to put it into your portfolio for this class, you obviously may do so. And then step number 10, implement the design. Now, in this case, you're not going to implement the design. However, if you were an interior designer and you went through these 10 steps, you would develop, once you have your design in place, then you would develop a timeline. You'd make your purchases, you'll schedule installations, and then you'll obviously communicate lots with clients to make sure you're still maintaining the design that they're looking for. People change their minds, etc. So those are all things to keep in mind. Please continue on to your project and get started. You will be working on this project, like I said, for about 5 to 6 days. All right, if you have any questions, ask your teacher. Thank you.